I reckon we'll continue working on old dude right here, trying to get him ready for power tour. Question is, can we do it in 6 days? I don't know, but we got to give her the old try. We're probably going to head up Sunday to Bowling Green. That's the first leg of Power Tour. And go get our long hauler pass credential thingamabobs. So yeah, we got 6 days left. What all do we have left to do? Well, on the rear end, which that's the biggest deal, we got to make all of our mounts, except for the bottom ones on the rear end. You know, I left them on there. Got to make our upper bars. Got to make our cross member for the coilovers. Well, we need some mini tubs. Got to make them. That's not necessary, but I would like to get that done. Got to make our brake caliper brackets. We got to run brake lines. We got to bleed the brakes. Well, we got a new master cylinder first we got to put in. Bleed brakes on all 4 corners. I got a windshield for it. It needs a windshield worse than the old Forte. It's turning really white over there on the driver's side. And it's really, really scratched up. At nighttime, you can't hardly drive it. So that's a must. I got a radiator. There's some small things I'd like to do, but we don't have to do them right now. But what I just mentioned has got to be done before it can go on Power Tour. And if you remember last week, we left off trying to get these upper A-arms on the front not hit the cross member we just put in. And we were successful with that, and that tire looks a lot better. It ain't leaning out anymore. We'll have to do the same thing on here, grind on them upper A-arms a little bit. And I put my little wheel thingamabob tire checker size thing on here that same night and figured out what tire I can run. Hopefully, they should be here. It says today, but I don't think so. I believe it'll be tomorrow before it gets here. Anyways, let us get busy. Let us not dilly-dally. We got to get this thing done. I think firstly what we'll start off with is let's start making our lower mounts for the lower bars that are going to weld to the frame. Let me show you all this real quick. Remember how I said this grinder basically quit working because the brushes are shot? Well, here are the brushes. I took the brush out of this holder and it's plenty of brush left. I think what the deal was is the spring is weak and it wouldn't push it out. So I took it apart, stretched the spring. I'm gonna put them back in there and let's see if it'll work. If it does, great. I'm still never gonna buy one of these again. If it don't, I'm gonna go in the trash can right over yonder. Y'all watch this right here. Oh yeah, mucho betero. All right, let me make me some cardboard templates of my mounts. We'll get to cutting them out. Got me a pattern made for the bottom mounts. It's gonna go in just like that right there. I got her traced out on this piece of metal. I gotta make 4 of them. Let me get them cut out. There's one. Let me do 3 more. It's pretty warm in here today. Had to break out the big fan. You'll just have to ignore the noise. I got all 4 of them cut. I got them clamped together now. I did not plan this, but this side here is all factory cut. So I lined them up. We're gonna grind all the other sides down where they're all uniform. It's aggravating trying to put something together when they're just a wee bit off. So we're gonna grind them, make them all the same. Oh yeah. Got them ground uniformly now. They look pretty good. Except for I'm gonna round that corner a little bit probably. Now I need to drill at least the pilot holes through all of them. And I might take them apart and then drill the big hole individually. Got all my mounts made, ground, and looking pretty. This is the back. It's going to be boxed in. Then I went to Mama's and made 16 spacers, to go in between it and the heim joint. Then I went to the store, got a bunch of bolts, and I got this end of the bottom bars bolted in. So all we got to do is bolt it here, bring it up here. Well, I got to locate my rear end again because I think I moved it. Once I get the rear end where it's going, we'll tack this one in. Then we'll find us a point somewhere on the frame that's the same on both sides. We'll measure to this one, and then we'll measure over here, put this in exactly the same, tack it in, and we'll weld them up. I gotta turn that fan off and blow my gas away. All right, let me get me a measurement point from somewhere and we'll do this other side over here. I'm measuring from this rivet right here on this cross member, right at 12 inches, maybe a 16th or so off. I got her marked right here, 12 inches. It's within a 16th, ain't gonna worry about it. Let us weld it up. Where's my helmet? Now I gotta put these boxing plates on the front and then we can weld her up. Woo, I'm about to burn up, fellas. I had to turn my fan on. It was about 90 in here. It's cooled off to a chilly 85. Anyway, got these welded up. They don't look too bad. Now we're working on the upper bars. What I'm gonna do, this is a bar from that Ching Chong kit that broke. I'm just gonna use that length. That's what we did on the 40, might as well. And we're gonna weld us a 1/4 inch plate here and have a mount come off it, and then we'll have 2 ears up here, just like on the 40. But we make sure we need to move these forward more than we did on the 40 so it don't hit when we're articulating all the way up. Let me make the bar firstly, then I think we'll make these ears, get this bolted in and tacked in, and then I can get me some measurements on this mount right here. Right on the money. Well, it may or may not be raining. They're not calling for any tornadoes, but the wind is whipping a little bit. They are calling for some hail and about 40-mile-an-hour winds. And we probably already got a 1/2 inch in about 10 minutes, so that's good. Tell you what, it has cooled it off in the shop, so yeah, I'm all for that. As soon as it quits, I'm gonna open these doors back up. I'm working on my upper mounts for those top bars, the ones that will weld to the rear end. That's my pattern right there. I'm gonna cut it out and we'll get over here. We'll make 4 of them. Well, it looks like the storm is gone for now. I think we got some more coming through later. It's cooled it off about 75 degrees in here, and that's wonderful. Let me tell you, it was hot today. It sure was. I'm hoping the air conditioner will keep it that cool. If it does, that'll be great. That's the first thing we're gonna do at the power tour. We gotta get that air hooked up because I ain't gonna be hot this year. Not if I keep from it anyway. I got my pattern cut out. I had to make it a little bit taller. Then I got 4 of them drawn out on this piece of metal right here. I'm gonna cut them out, got drill holes, then shape them up a little bit. Then I think we're gonna take us a little break. I've been at this, I don't know, 7-8 hours. And eat me a little supper, rest a little bit, and then we're gonna come back and work another 3 or 4 hours. Because I would like to get the rear end done. Well, I'd like to get the suspension part of the rear end done tonight. Let me say this too. Cutting them out don't take that long, but when you got to go to shaping them, making them pretty, it takes some time when you're making stuff like this. If anybody out there owns a company that sells or manufactures CNC plasma cutting equipment, feel free to sponsor me with a CNC plasma cutter. Yes, sir. If you want to contact me, it's thisandthatgarage1@gmail.com. Anyways, let me get these cut off. Well, I don't even remember where I left y'all off, but I'm trying to get this, I got these tacked. Trying to get this mount up here on the frame for this upper bar. Well, what I did is I had some 2.5 inch channel, or square tubing. Well, I just cut her at the proper angle. I think that's going to work. Now, I'm trying to get me a plate cut here. Well, this is all, you know, it ain't straight. So what I'm gonna do is take me a piece of cardboard and a hammer and peck it on the top and bottom of that rail, and then I'll use that to trace onto my metal and I'll cut it out. I'm gonna put this starting where I want my plate to start. And then all I'm gonna do is bring this down a little bit. All I'm gonna do is pecka pecka. That should be enough. Now I'll cut that out and then trace it on my metal. Got the plate cut. Fixing to tack it in for now. We'll weld it up later. Then I'm going to tack this in and see what everything looks like. What do this look like? I think right about there. Right about there don't look too bad. Let me tack it real quick. I was just looking everything over and I think it's going to work. My nut will just barely fit. So that's good. I got lucky there. The only thing I don't like is this piece here. Well, I don't know if you can see that big old gap right there. I'm not taking that off and grinding it down because it's going to throw everything off. I'll weld the gap up. What I got to do now, make another plate over here, make this piece here, get these tacked on and get everything in. Well, let me just show you that piece of square tubing. Well, I've already got my angle, you know, from where I cut it the first time. I'm just going to cut it to length, and I got to drill 5/8 hole all the way through it, and I'll have that piece. All right, here's the plate for the frame. Maybe another pattern for that side. The first one, I literally cut it like 6 times. It kept growing. I don't understand it. Maybe this one won't grow though.
I do that every time. It's an auto darkening helmet. I'll leave it on weld. It's got a button here for weld or grind. I'll leave it on, it'll darken and I can't see my line. Well, they're up. All right, now we got to measure this one here and match this one over here. Where are we going to come from? Where are we going to go? Where do you come from? Where do you go? Where do you come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Golly, Pete, that's blinding me. 14 inches. Let's get back in here. Try and get them close as I can, but I really don't think it matters all that much. We ain't building no top fuel dragster racing for thousands of dollars. Close enough is good enough for us. That needs to go approximately right there. All right. Now let me get my arm bolted in, get it tacked up over here on the rear end, wherever that's going to be. Close enough for what we do around here. Let me tack all this in real quick before it moves. Oh yeah, that'll work. All right. Rear end is located. Don't look too bad if you ask me. Oh yeah. Let's get back here and look at it. Looks pretty symmetrical. It almost looks like I know what I'm doing. That's kind of scary because I don't. Anyway, there's a lot of welding here. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And if I weld all this, then I'll have to sit out here for an hour doing fire watch. And I don't want to do that. I'm tired. I'm going in the house first thing tomorrow. We'll weld this up. We'll keep on trucking. Well, I've spent a couple of hours today trying to figure out how I'm going to do this coilover setup. It's kind of hard to show you because there ain't a whole lot of room. But this is pretty much it. Here's my cross member. It's 1.5 inch quarter inch wall. And you know, we got to do little spacers in here. Probably don't need to with that 1/4 inch wall, but we're going to do it anyways. Just make sure they don't crush any. Then we're going to have a 1/4 inch spacer here. 1/4 inch spacer down here. And then this is going to be, you know, double shear like we did the 40. Now, I'm going to try to double shear this one. Come out here maybe and box this in. We'll just have to see how that works out. Of course, same thing on the other side. So I'm going to make my spacers first because this all needs to be tightened up before I weld this cross member in. But here's the thing. I may have messed up on my spring rate. For whatever reason, I had it in my head that this truck weighed the same as the 40. The 40 it probably weighs about 3,100, maybe 3,200. Just from what I read online, we're going to have to weigh it here for too long. But I thought this truck weighed within 100 pounds of it. No, sir. Without me in it, it weighs like 35.50, 35.30. So it's 300 or 400 pounds heavier. But I got the same spring rate on these coilovers that I did on the 40. But the weight distribution is different. It's heavier on the front. So it may be about the same weight on the back. We'll just have to see once I get everything done up. What I've done to figure out where I needed to put my upper mounts is the 40. Remember, it squished 1 3/4 inches when we let the weight down on them springs. That's with them, you know, adjusted all the way out. I figured 2 inches on this one, so I raised the body up 2 inches, and then I marked my holes for my upper mounts. That's where they're at right now. And if it ain't enough, well, you know, we got some adjustment on spring. Plus, we can move up on that bottom mount, move up another hole. So I think we'll be okay. Let me get my spacers made first, and then get my double shear mount made for the top. We'll worry about a double shear down here on the bottom later. But let me get to working on that stuff, and then we'll get all this bolted in, and then I'll be able to weld that cross member in. Also, I went to the metal store a little while ago and got me 3 different widths of 3/16 metal. Hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier making all these mounts and whatnot I got to make. Plus I got some 5/8 ID DOM tubing. That's what I'm gonna make my spacers out of. Went to the bolt store also, got a bunch of bolts, and let me tell you this. Here is the what's that called, rotor that we're going to use. Well, let me show you this first. See this hole right here? It's too small for this axle register here. Reason being, these are not the same axles that I got for the 40. They were back ordered, and it said we have no idea, you know, when they'll be back in stock. Well, these are the exact same axle, except that register is bigger, so we'll have to put that in a lathe and turn it down a little bit for that rotor to fit over it. Also, where did that bracket go? I don't know. Let me see if I can find it. I found it. Here's a caliper bracket that we made for the 40 for the F body, the 4th gen F body calipers. Remember, we couldn't use it because it stuck out too far. This one here will fit if I put the caliper on the front. I know that's goofy. I don't really want to do it, but it'll save me possibly a day of trying to make these calipers and get them to fit. You remember I had trouble on the 40. So soon as I get all of this done, the suspension done, we're gonna pull this wheel off. I've already put the caliper on and just eyeballed, and it misses the frame. That frame, by the way, it goes in, gets narrower from, you know, back to front. So it's gonna miss. I think it'll miss the wheel. If it'll line up with the rotor, you know, the brake pads, brake shoe, brake pad, whatever they're called. If that all that lines up, then that's what we're going to do. And we might come back later and make some brackets, put them on the back, make it look more normal. Anyways, if that will work out, that'll save me possibly a day. That will help out tremendously. Anyways, I'm going to eat with some family. I will be back later. We'll start making our mounts for the upper coil area, and we'll just continue on making spacers and all that. Hopefully we can get all that done tonight and get these brakes on, make sure they're going to work. Might even run some brake lines. I don't know. We'll just have to see. All right, what we're going to do first, drill this out to 7/8 for our anti-crush spacer in this cross member. I don't know that this little drill press is going to do 7/8, but we're going to give her the old try. Well, it keeps hanging up. It's just about through. Let me do this other one, and I'll see what the Wrist Breaker 6000 will do with it. Got my spacers drove in. We'll weld them up both sides, grind it down flush. I'll probably have to run my 5/8 drill back through there. After do that, we'll go to building my mount for the coilover. Last piece of the puzzle right here. I'm not going to weld it up until I get it in the truck to make dang sure that it's going to work. I will tack it a little bit more because I want to put the weight of the truck on it. Let me get this other side done and we'll test it out. Well, I got the upper mounts all tacked up. I just wanted to put it in the truck, make sure there wasn't no issues with anything. It looks all right to me. Let me pull it back out, weld these up, bring it back over here, tighten all my bolts up, get these straight up and down. We'll weld that cross member in. Whilst my cross member cools off, I'm going to start welding some of this stuff up right here. And then by the time I get this done, that should be cool enough to handle. We'll set it up here and get it welded. I can't see what I'm doing, man. Y'all know what I just now thought of? That's right in the way of the exhaust. Pretty doggone sure it is. Yep, so dude is probably gonna get dump mufflers for now. Never thought about that. I got me some 4x4s to stand on so I can see the top of this one. Well, Nelly. I'm just checking, make sure what that weld looks like, because I couldn't see very good. Look at this one over here. Well, I can tell that don't look too bad. All right, I got my cross member in. I got everything bolted down tight. I got this set as close to 90 as I can get it. But my bar, these bushings, I've got my bar twisted. So what I got to do, I've already got it marked on the frame where it goes, but I got to get her twisted like that right there till it gets, level, straight, plumb, whatever you want to call it. Then I got to tack it, but I got to let it down at just the right height, because this is curved. Well, there's several things going on at one time. I don't know if I can do it all at once by myself. I'm going to give it the old try, though. Let me set y'all up on the camera and we'll see if we can't get it tacked in. This one over here is lower. There's different, I don't know why. Unless these coilovers are a little bit different. But I got to go right yonder. I got to let it down, but I got to twist it. Let me see about where we're at. Get it on the mark and then twist it. According to that, I need to go up a little bit. Let's see. Approximately right there. So let me get my welding apparatuses on. I'm going to tack this and then we'll go over and do that one. Alright, now let's see what we can do over here on this side. Let her down a little bit. That's dead on 90. Good enough for what we do around here. Let me weld this side up. I'll tell you what, that looks really good from the back. I got her welded good down the front and back sides. We'll weld the other up later, but right now I want to let it down on them springs, and let's see what our ride height is going to be. See if it's where I want it to be or not. Before we let it down, let us see how much it goes down. We are at 26 and, probably 3/8. Y'all remember that. Y'all ready? Going down. All the weight is on the springs. I'm not going to bounce them yet. Let's just see where it's at. We're at 25, maybe a little less. So it dropped 1 3/8. The Forte dropped 1 3/4. But let me bounce on it. You know, they're going to settle and they're going to compress more over time. Let's see what happens when I hang off the bumper. All right, let's see where we're at now. 24 and 5/8, maybe 3/4. It's hard to read from here. I had the ride height set at 24. We're really close. Those springs will settle over time. I don't know if they'll settle 5/8, but they'll settle some. I'd say 1/4 to 1/2 anyway. If it don't settle to where I want it, I'll cut a little bit of them coils off. It don't bother me at all. Well, I just checked this side. It's 1 inch lower than that side over there. I don't understand that. We're 1 inch lower over yonder. We're 1 inch lower over here. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe it's the cheap parts I'm using. I don't know. And to be honest, I don't really care right now. I'm tired. Everything, the springs got settled. The week that dude sat outside while I finished up the 40, this settled. It was about 1/2 inch on the front. So, these will settle, and then we'll go to adjust and get it where we want it. I forgot to show y'all. I made me a list today before I started. One for the Forte, one for dude. Most of dude's got to be done. Probably 3 or 4 of these things have got to be done before we can drive it to Power Tour. This one, well, it's the ultimate goal. That's the main goal. Go to Power Tour. I think we'll be able to do it. We still got quite a bit of stuff to do to dude. I think we can get it done though. Well, I think I will call it a night. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but fellers, I'm about that close to burnout. I really am. I've been running wide open for 6 weeks. I'm just a little bit tired. Yep. So we'll shut her down tonight. I think we got the biggest part done. Getting that rear end situated, suspension, all that done. Everything else, it's a piece of cake. I got to go in the house, get y'all's video uploaded for tomorrow night, and do all that kind of stuff. It's another 3 or 4 hours before I'll ever get to bed. Probably see the sun come up. Anyway, see y'all tomorrow. 4 days. That's all we got left to get this old truck back up and running and ready for Power Tour. I did get some sleep last night. I ain't slept very good in the last 2 or 3 days. I did get a bit last night. I feel a little bit better. So today's all about brakes. And then hopefully we can at least start on getting the rear gear in it. What I got to do right now, pull these axles out. We got to go to the lathe or at Mama's. We got to turn this hub down here so my rotors will fit. I'll see y'all when we get over there. Had to swap out the chucks to the 4-jaw because that 3-jaw, it had about 10 thousandths run out. That's too much. Got this one within a couple. This is 3 inches and 50 thousandths. The rotor is 2 inches and about 790. So we got to take off 260 thousandths. Let me get busy and get this done. Want to vibrate a little bit. Come on now. $820, we got to go to $790. I'm dealing with chatter and I cannot get rid of it. What do we have? 87. Let me try that rotor, see if it fits. Oh yeah, look at there. Pretty tight. Let me get the other one done. Axle's in, rotor's on, caliper's on. It will work with one exception. Let's go to the other side and I'll show you what I'm talking about. See this bolt pattern here? That LTD, the one we flipped over, got this out of, is a 68.
This is what they call the early Big Ford. What we put in the 40 is what they call a late Big Ford. One of them's called a Torino. Maybe that, I don't know. I'm not a Ford guy. But bolt pattern is different. Luckily, 2 diagonal holes basically match up, so I always have to re-drill 2 of these. Also, these are 1/2 inch bolts. Them out there are 3/8. I don't know why Ford did it. You'll have to ask Ford. But I think they'll work just fine and dandly. Let me re-drill those 2 holes, and I think we'll be done with this. Then we can pull that chunk out and go working on it. Well, I'm back over here at Mama's on the mill. Here's my caliper bracket. As you can see, the new hole is going to be halfway in the old hole. I got 2 of them like that. Well, my drill bit, I tried to drill from the other side, and it just wanted to walk over here and lock up. And I got it on the mill. We're going to mill it because it won't walk. It'll just drill straight through. Having to use a drill bit, 1/4 inch drill bit to locate the hole. Drill the pilot hole with 1/4 inch drill. Well, then you just run that down in there to locate your part. Then you take that out and put it the end mill in, and you bore it right on through. Well, there's one. Well, I got it all bolted back together. Got the wheel on here. Make sure it wouldn't hit the caliper. I didn't think it would, but need a check. That scrubbing you hear is the brake pad rubbing the rotor. I do believe we're good. Let's get on the inside there and just let's look and see how much clearance we actually got. Oh yeah, we got more than enough room right here. I bet you could probably run a 14 inch on it. Back in yonder, more than enough room also. Oh yeah, I think we'll be just fine and dandly. Got to do the same thing to the other side, drill those holes out. Everything should be good there. I'll put everything together, make sure it's okay. After that, well, you remember them bearings that I blued in here? Like I ordered some last night. I got to go O'Reilly's, pick them up. Then I got to have a sandwich of some kind because I'm hungry. Then I guess once I get done with my brake, we're going to pull that chunk out in there. And I got to start putting that gear in. Hopefully I can get all that done tonight. And I think the drive shaft, I'm going to have to shorten it just a wee bit. I'll know more once we get that rear end back together. Anyways, probably not going to show the rear gear. Well, I might show a little bit of it. But when I get done, I'll be back. Well, it's the next afternoon. As you can see, the differential chunk, well, it's still sitting here on the table. Yep. Everything I touched last night, it was a disaster. I either had wrong parts, didn't have no parts at all. I was going to use the stock bolts for the ring gear. Oh, they were way too short. It wouldn't even thread in. Then I come over here, going to at least put the pinion together. Well, the seal, it was the wrong one. It was way too small. So I said, phooey on it. I cleaned up the shop because it was an absolute disaster. Come over here and finished up the welding on them ears up here, and then a little bit of welding on that cross member. Where's that cross member brace right there? And that was about it. Yeah. And then today, well, it's the next afternoon. I ain't done nothing. Well, I run around town just about all day trying to find part. Well, I had to go to Denniston trying to find parts that I needed. And well, I took the 40 with me, and it had a good test of stop and go traffic, red light to red light traffic. It did pretty good. Temperature creeped up a little bit, so we may end up having to put an electric fan on it because I don't have time to build a fan shroud. But other than that, it does pretty good. Carburetor, it's still got some issues that we're gonna have to work through. But right now, main goal, get this rear end done, get the brakes done. I'd like to get that done tonight. Need to pull that master cylinder out and then put the other one in and bleed brakes. Right now though, let me get this rear end put together and I'll be back. Well, I think I'm done setting this gear up. There's my pattern right there. To me, that looks good. But I'm no expert. It's hard for me to see the pattern. I don't know. Let me show you the coast side real quick. I mean, to me it looks pretty good. It may be a little down here. The 40 was up here. Coast side may be a little down here, but like I said, it's hard for me to see the pattern. I'm gonna leave it like that. The old 40, she whines a little bit when you get up around 55 or so. She'll go to whining, and it's amplified in that car anyway because that big old trunk area, there's no matting, no floorboard, and there's no rubber bushings. And that suspension, buddy, let me tell you, it transfers every little bump and noise you can hear through that entire car. Anyways, it's just something I'm gonna have to live with. But I think that right there looks pretty good. I'm gonna put this in that truck, stick axles in, get the brakes on. Then we're gonna run brake lines back here and master seal and do all kind of stuff. Let me get this in the truck real quick.
Oh yeah, this is really heavy. Really heavy. Ooh. Here we are. Yet again. Under a vehicle with a heavy chunk. I'm trying to get in here. Woo, I'm getting too old for this. I really am. I gotta find a better line of work. Oh yeah. Don't mash my finger. I'm fixing to drop it. When I get my Hummer, please don't fall out. All right, let me get these nuts on here, and I've lost half of these copper washers, so they're just gonna have to do what I got. Anyways, let me get this tightened up. We'll slide the axles in, and I think we're gonna start working on the brakes. I forgot, I gotta make spacers for these right here. Probably we'll do that tomorrow sometime. Pretty sure that in there cross threaded. Yep. Pretty sure, and I'm missing one right here. What happened to it? Here it is in the floor. I found it! Alright, let's get the axles in. I cleaned all these up last night, so everything should be good to go. Caliper bracket is also the bearing retainer. I was hoping to have the drive shaft done tonight, but I'm still waiting on that U-joint for the rear. Supposed to be here tomorrow. Sure hope it is. If it ain't, well, dude will be sitting here for power tour. I definitely got penetration on that cross member there. I see burn through on the frame, so that's wonderful. I'm gonna put these lug nuts on because I don't know if I told you or not, I had to shim it a little bit because the caliper was hitting the drum. So I want to check it again. I'm gonna put it on. Let me find my working utensils. I forgot to tighten these. Wait a minute, it's wrong socket. I'll get it right here in a minute. Alright, now let me get the caliper on. Here's the deal. I decided I did not want to use these washers for spacers, fool on that. It's too aggravating to try to get them behind there. I just didn't like the idea of that. So, went and got my big Hummer, started whooping on this bracket right here till I got it bent out this way far enough. Y'all look here, let me get my light. Right here where I'm pointing, well, I'm blinding you. Right there, it was hitting. Y'all look here now. Oh yeah, we got plenty of clearance. Same thing down here, we got plenty of clearance. Oh yeah. This is backyard butchery. You know, sometimes you have to do that to make stuff fit, even store-bought stuff. Most channels, no TV shows are going to show this, I promise you, they're not. Fellas, I got nothing to hide. I'm just showing you how I do stuff, how I make it work. That's just the only way I know to tell you. Anyways, that right there swinging that Hummer, it took 10 or 15 minutes to get that thing bent around. Made me hot. I got to go get some wooder. Then I'm going to do that other side, and then I guess I'll start running some brake lines across this rear end. Got all the brake stuff on the axle. Let me show you now my fittings. Normally there would be a banjo bolt here and a hose. Well, I'm not fooling with hoses. We're just gonna run metal line. It ain't like I'm gonna be pulling this off all the time once I, get done. Anyway, it is a 10 mama by 1 to a 3AN flare. I wanted an inverted flare, but well, this is all I could find. So short notice, you better use what you can find. Got the same thing over here. And then I'm using the same hose that was on dude. Well, let me get my light because you can't see. Here's where the T is going to go from the hose. And I just cut this bracket off the old rear end that come out of this truck. We'll weld it right here. So let me drag the welder out for the 984,624.3th time and weld that bracket on. I wish I had another welder. I would possibly leave it right over yonder. That way I ain't gotta be dragging it back and forth all the time. Anyway, let me drag it out, weld that up, and I'm gonna run me some brake line. Brake lines are run. Oh yeah, look at there. Let's go around the front side and look at that. Now I know that line coming across over like that looks goofy, but it serves a purpose. I didn't feel like using hoses, didn't want to go get none, to be honest with you. Won't nobody ever see it but me and y'all. That's it, so it don't matter. Now that I got these ran, I got to get up here, change that master cylinder out, fill it full of fluid, bleed all the brakes, and I think we'll be done with the brakes and we can move on to something else. Got the master cylinder off a dude. This is it right here. Remember how I told you the brakes on this old truck were just terrible? You really had to get on them to get the truck to stop. And I thought maybe Daddy had put a power brake master cylinder in here instead of manual. Well, that's what it is. I measured the bore and it's 1.25 inches. That's definitely power brake. This one here's 1 inch. It is made for manual. So this should help stop that truck a lot better. We got a couple of issues. One of them is easily overcome. They're different lines, and on this one, this is the front, this is the back. On this one, it's just the opposite. This is the front, this is the back. All we gotta do is bend our lines and get them where they need to be. That ain't no big deal. But the push rod hole in this one here, it goes down in there about 1 5/8 inches, and this one here does not. If I ain't mistaken, they sell a little adapter you stick down in there. I will see if O'Reilly's has got it. If so, I'll go get it in the morning. If not, I'll have to make one. Probably not going to happen tonight. So we're done with the brakes for now until I can remedy that situation. Let's go over here to the board and see what else I need to do. Well, let's mark some stuff off firstly, and then let's see what else I need to do. We have gotten suspension welded up. We got the cross member done. Hello, little bug. Got the brake lines ran. Working on this one. Can't do that till we do that. Rear gear is set up. I can do that. I can do that. Patch side, yeah. I'll tell you what, we might do that in a minute. And then after I do that, we can align it. I'm fixing to do that. That's easy. I ain't gonna do that tonight. Spacers for the rear end. I just added that a little while ago. I'll do that tomorrow. This, and this are not necessary to go to power tour. This one is. So we're whittling it down. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Let's fix this right here firstly, and then we may work on the wheels after that. Here's the deal. I'd have to order that little adapter I told you about from Summit or Amazon. O'Reilly's don't have it. It'll take 2 or 3 days to get it. I don't have 2 or 3 days. So what we're going to do is we're going to make one. This is 480 by thousandths. I got a 1/2 inch rod, which is 500 by thousandths. 500 does not go into 480. We got to turn this down. Well, it's midnight, and I'm afraid if I go where the mama's rambling around in the basement, it might wake her up. So I ain't gonna do that. So this is our lathe for the evening. I'm gonna get me a wire tie. Do that right there. Give me some sandpaper. Sand 25 thousandths off of that, and we're gonna take a drill. Drill this, concave where that push rod will fit snugly in there. Cut it off to length, and there you go. Let us get busy. That wire tie may not be long enough. Oh yeah, it is. Look at here. I got my lathe going. This is 80 grit. That's the roughest I got. Let's see how quick it takes, how long it takes to get 25 by thousandths off of this. Probably gonna take a while, I had to guess. Just out of curiosity, let's see how much I took off. I ain't took nothing off. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the old grind door. That'll speed things up. All right, let me turn my lathe back on. That's 480. Let's go a little bit more. Will it fit in here? Y'all look at there. Oh yeah. All right, let me undo my lathe here. And I'm gonna round one end. Matter of fact, let's do that now on the other grinder. I'll round this end, then we'll cut it off to length, and then I'll drill that end. Now I got to cut it to length. I got me a mark there, but I'm gonna leave it a little long, and then we'll grind it, a little at a time until I get it to the length I want. Ooh, it's hot. Hot. I got to take 70 thousandths off, so let me grind a little bit. No, wait a minute. That is wrong. No, this will work. I just need to drill down about 70 thousandths. Yes, sir. I almost messed up. Well, the drill bit walked on me. I don't know why, but it did. So I'm gonna try to use a big drill bit and walk it that way. So I've converted my lathe back to a drill. Let's see if we can do something with this. I only need to take it 70 thousandths. Let me see what I got here. Almost 90. I'm gonna leave it right there. I think it'll be just fine and dandly. I'm gonna stick it in the master cylinder, measure it one last time, but I believe that'll work. Well, it fits in there just fine and dandly. I measured it. It's supposed to be 432, 7/16 from this surface down to the bottom of that concave. Well, it's 500. 70 thousandths, 68 thousandths. It ain't gonna matter. No, sir. At the worst case scenario, we had to adjust our stop lights, brake light switch a little bit. I ain't worried about that. Let me get the master cylinder on, and I gotta swap these two lines, fill it up, and we can finally bleed the thing. Master cylinder is on. I got my little power bleeder here set up. It's leaking just a wee bit, so let's hurry. Raise it up. We'll start back yonder, and then we'll go here. We'll go yonder. Go right here and bleed all these brakes. Well, we got solid fluid back here to the right rear. Let me close that bleeder. And we'll go over here to the left rear. What do we have on this side? Oh, here. I heard a bunch of error. There she comes. Oh, it's getting all over the place. That other one didn't do that. Let me set the phone down. Well, we ain't got no pedal. Goes all the way to the floor, won't even pump up. So, I don't remember last time I used this power bleeder. Did I bleed the master cylinder first? I don't know. Let me bleed it and just see what happens. Well, I have fooled with the brakes for over an hour. We don't have any. Ain't got a clue why. I backed up and bench bled the master cylinder, put the plugs in the side, bleed it until there's no air bubbles and it only moved about 1/8 of an inch. Yep, it did all that. Put it back together, bled all four corners, didn't get any air, ain't got no pedal. I can't even, pump it fast as I can, it won't get a pedal at all. So I don't know what's going on. Fooling the brakes for now. I'm gonna go over here on the passenger side, pull this wheel off, pull that upper control arm off, backyard butchery it like we did the other one, so it ain't rubbing our top hat spring thing, whatever you want to call it. I ain't gonna video that. Y'all saw me do it on the other side. I will probably see y'all tomorrow because it's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to get this done, and I think I'll call it a day, and I guess we'll hit the brakes again tomorrow. Well, I did my little grinding trick. I think it's going to work. A couple of y'all said something about putting spacers under here to lift it up where it won't hit that. Well, see these little, I don't know if you call them serrations or knurl, whatever, but it sits like this on top of that hat. Well, if I put any kind of spacer or washer here, well, that ain't gonna be grabbing onto here, and it's liable to slip around, and when I line it up, it'll jump out of alignment. That's why I ain't gonna put no spacers there. Also, this spring is not sitting down in the pocket. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. See, that's up. I'm gonna try to get that where it's supposed to go. I don't know if that'll help or hurt us on our difference in height from one side to the other, but I'm gonna see if I can't get that in there and put that arm back on, and then I think we're gonna call it a night. Got all that took care of. Let's get up under here real quick. Make sure our T-bolts are all the way back. Oh yeah, y'all probably can't see it because my light quit on me, but yes sir, they are slid all the way back now. Spring is sitting in its pocket like it ought to be now. And I measured it, and it's just, well, it's lower on this side now. It's 23 and 5/8, and then, no, 23 and 3/4. This is 24 and 5/8. Plus, the tire. This is a 1/2 inch smaller tire, so it's going to be even taller. So I don't know what's going on. I guess the springs are settling or whatever. So this one here, we're going to have to run that adjuster back down some, but I'm not doing it until get the tires mounted. There's my tires, by the way. It's the same white letters as them, but they're a wee bit smaller, so they'll fit the front. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. Paint them wheels, mount the tires, get on here, do an alignment. Let's go over to the board real quick. Can I mark anything else? I think I can. All right, what did we do? We bled the brakes. We got the master cylinder on, but I'm afraid that may have to come back off. What did we do? Passenger side control arm, got that. I did them, steering lock nuts, and I guess that's it. Well, that's a couple more things anyways. Tomorrow, like I said, we got to get the wheels and tires on, get it aligned. Got to get the exhaust on. Gonna have to cut it off. It's gonna be dumped because I'm sure it ain't gonna run where it used to. It might, but I kind of doubt it. Got to figure out the brakes. I don't know. I have no clue what's going on with that. Got to put Earls in the rear end, and well, you see the list. There's things we got to do. Anyways, we are knocking it down. Hopefully tomorrow we can do some of this to the Forte also. Anyways, it's, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I got to go in and edit for an hour or so and, well, do all my housely duties. I reckon I'll see y'all probably tomorrow afternoon. One of the reasons I work is so late, because it's been kind of warm, 85, 86, 87. It gets 90 plus in here. So I figured, well, let's just work late at night. So anyways, probably what we'll do tomorrow too. Boy, that thing sure looks good sitting there like that. See y'all tomorrow. MLS is struck again. Give me a gut punch today. The rear end in this one and in the Forte, the yoke, it's an oddball size U-joint. Ford, for whatever reason, it's a 1330 big cap. I don't know why they use it. You'll have to ask Ford once again. Whatever. Apparently, from my research, NEPCO is the only company that makes a conversion from 1330 to 1310, which is 1310 is my drive shaft. Had a U-joint ordered. Was supposed to be here 2 days ago, I think. Well, it got delayed in shipping for whatever reason. Well, I got to looking this morning, and it was in Nashville at 1 o'clock this morning. Then they shipped it to Clarksville, right here where I'm at. It got here about 3 o'clock. Well, instead of putting it on a delivery truck, they put it on another transfer truck, and, well, they shipped it to Murfreesboro. Now I'm getting a delivery date of the 11th. Power tour starts on the 10th. Dude's probably going to be sitting right here. Yep. All because of UPS. I got one option left. I've tried to find a yoke, like a 13 thin, 1330, 1350, a normal size yoke for a 9-inch. Locally, can't find one. The only option I have is I was given a 76 Ford E150, I guess what you call it. I don't know. It's a van. I'm going to go jack it up, take a drive shaft loose, and measure the yoke. If it's a normal size yoke, then we're good to go. I'll pull that yoke off, put it on here. I'll go get a regular U-joint, a regular conversion U-joint. We'll be okay. If not, well, dude ain't going on power tour. At least the first day or two. Anyways, let me go crawl under that van, see what we got.
His old van, it kind of lined 100. I was wrong about that. So I don't know what it's going to have. Hopefully it's going to work though. Let me climb up under here and get that yoke out and see what we got. Well, there the little fella is. Finally got him out. I measured from here to here. It's 3.2. Well, it depends on which part you look at. It could be 3.219, 3.222, 3.225. It's a 1310 width. The cap is 1.062, which is a 1310. We got us a 1310. The drive shaft 1310. I just happen to have a 1310 U-joint, so don't even have to go to the store. We got to clean her up, swap it out, and to get us some measurements. We got to shorten the drive shaft, I'm pretty sure. But before we do that, I got to go in the house, check myself for ticks. That area over there, that's where the older fella lives. That I got, not Dumas, but Lockjaw and Station Wagon and that dang old Dodge. Anyway, that area is just eat up with ticks. I was there 2 minutes. All I did was kneel down on the ground and I had a tick crawling up my back. So I'm going in the house, check myself for ticks. When I get back, we'll start on old dude. Well, I only found one extra tick on me, so that was good. I already got the nut off here. I used that orange. It's the high strength removable. It was removed with an impact, so that's good. Anyway, let me knock this off here and we'll get that other one on there. I put RT and V around here because there's nothing to keep the Earl from coming from them splines through here. So I guess that nut might help stop it, but I still always put a little RT and V in there. It's still wet too. Oh yeah, I don't like that. All right, let's get this little fella on here. Put me some RT and V down here on this, and I can't see a thing. All right, maybe that'll stop it. You're supposed to use a new nut. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta have some Loctite. Loctite, Loctite. All right, I got my Loctite on my nut. You're supposed to use a new nut every time. I don't really know why. You know, it's one of those lock nuts, you know, the end of it's squished. Anyway, I rarely do, and I ain't had no trouble, so hopefully we won't have any trouble out of this one either. All right, let's see if she'll move. Oh, yeah, look here, I'm moving, dude. I am, how many horsepowers? All right, got that done. Let me get a measurement for a drive shaft, and we got to go make one. Look here, fellers. Something terrible, I mean awful, is going to happen before we get this truck done. Here's why. I done had too much good luck today. Well, you know, I did have bad luck to begin with, you know, waiting on my U-joint to get here. But luckily, I found a yoke. I had the U-joint, didn't have to go to the store. And I want y'all to look here. I got it in the transmission all the way. You want, I don't know, half, 3/4 of an inch of play for that yoke to work in and out, you know, with the suspension going up and down. Y'all look here. From this point here, where at the end of my thumb, to that edge of that cap, that's the clearance we're gonna have. It's half, 5/8. It'll be just fine and dandly, yes sir. This just don't happen. I'm telling you, at the Backyard Butchery Emporium of misery and grief, it just don't happen. No, sir. So I am not gonna have to shorten this drive shaft. Oh, and yeah, that's pretty awesome. Let me get this in here, and then, well, I need to put some grease in the rear end. Then I got to get back on the brakes and see what's going on with them. Change of plans. Well, firstly, this was really rusty where it's gonna be riding, the new area it's gonna ride on. It was riding about here. It's about here now. So we ain't changed a whole lot. Anyway, this is very rusty and nasty, so I took 40 grit, cleaned it up. I'm just kidding. I think it was 220. It's in the trash there, it's all nasty. Anyways, cleaned that up so it'll have a good place to run. And I got to thinking, this U-joint here, it's been in that truck for I don't know how long, and it's had a very rough life with me behind the wheel. So I figured, let's just go ahead and change it. I don't think I've got another 1310 over there. I'll look and see. If I don't, I'll have to run to O'Reilly's and get one of them. I ain't gonna do it right now. I'll do it sometime this evening. We'll change that out just for a little added insurance. Also, this is what we were riding on with dude on the back end U-joint. Yes, sir, busted. I guess all that horsepower and wool powering did that. Anyway, I'll do this later.
Let me put some grease in the rear end. We'll get back on the brakes. Fellas, I think I'm losing my mind. I heard some fluttering up here a minute ago. I thought, oh no, I done got another hummingbird in here. Well, all I could see was what I thought was tail feathers sticking out of an area up there. I thought, well, he's hiding. No, sir. Let's see if I can zoom in. It's just a dumb old dragonfly. That's all it is. Hopefully he got enough sense to get out here. Anyways, I just about got this filled up. Yes, I have put the limited slip additive because that is a limited slip rear end. Dude's gonna be making 2 marks now instead of a 1-legger. Anyways, let me get that done. Rear end is full of grease. I'm bleeding the brakes now. Well, I done bled them once. I got a bunch of air out of that one, a bunch of air out of that one over there. I got just a wee bit of pedal. I'm about out of brake fluid, so I got to go to Ireland to get some of that. I did have a U-joint. Look here. Let me show y'all something. I got this side done, was doing this side, and it wouldn't close up together. Well, look here what's on my finger. One needle, one down in there, and that was keeping it from closing up. Let me get my snap rings on there. You got to pay attention to that. Well, you have to, when you're putting the cup in, you got to hold the cross up in it, or these are liable to pop out. Anyways, let me see if I can't get this straightened out. I'm gonna go to Ireland to get some more brake fluid. We're gonna keep on bleeding this. I guess I'll get a gallon of brake fluid because it looks like it's gonna take a while to get all the air out. Back from Ireland, got me a gallon of brake fluid. And as you can see, we got the drive shaft in. I got me another 1310 U-joint because this in here, I didn't like how it did. See how them clips are poking out? It didn't fit real good. I got a spare just in case, something happens to that one. But there's the amount of clearance we got there, and right here on that cross member, well, it ain't a whole lot. That's probably less than what we got on the old Forte, but I was just swinging on the suspension, and it didn't hit. So maybe we'll be all right. Eventually, we may have to cut this out and make us a U. Might even make us a drive shaft loop. I don't know. Anyways, I ain't gonna worry about that right now. Hopefully that won't be a problem. I'm going to wait on bleeding the brakes again. Let it set for a little while. Maybe it'll work some more air out. So I think right now, I'm gonna grab the exhaust and let's just see what all I gotta do to make it fit. Well, I don't know what's going on. That side over there is sitting about 1 inch or so lower than this side. Well, watch and listen when I pull down on the body. Got quite a bit of travel there. Watch and listen over here. I'm just barely pulling down on it. It's hitting somewhere. I ain't got a clue what, and I don't know why it's sitting lower. I think this is a piece of junk is what the issue is. Ain't got a clue what to do. Well, I just noticed this. See that bolt? It's hard to see on the camera. It's bent down. This one here, pretty straight. This is why you want to double shear this type of stuff. I'll have to look at that, and that being bowed down, will make this side drop. But I don't know what's hitting. I don't see anything. Ain't got a clue. Let me continue on with the exhaust, and then we'll come back to this in a little while. Driver's side exhaust is on. As you can see, a cutter right there behind the muffler. I got the tailpipe up in there, but it hits the bar and hits the cross member right here. It's real close to fitting. With a little bit of work, we can run a tailpipe on out, I believe, but not today. I don't have time. So let me cut the tailpipe off the other side, get it installed, and the exhaust will be done. Well, I got the mufflers on. That was very exhausting. Let's go over here and mark some stuff off real quick. We got the driving shaft done. We got gear oil in it. Well, see, I don't have exhaust on here. Well, we'll write exhaust and then cross it out. What is next? I may try to bleed the brakes again here in a minute. May start pulling tire. Actually, no, what I'm going to do here very shortly, I got to go get on the lathe to make 4 spacers for those the top front bars. Got to do that. And then we need to start working on wheels and tires and bleed the brakes again. And like I said, the rest of this up here, would just be a bonus. But what I would like to do right now, or not right now, but sometime tonight, double shear this, because if that's already bent, that ain't good. So we're going to have to do that tonight sometime, whether it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning or in an hour or two, but we got to do that. Well, I got a little bit accomplished in the last hour or two. Got my spacers made, got them in, got all the bolts tightened up. I had to chop a little bit off the end of that bolt because it was hitting that plate. I've got the wheelbase set. I got it set side to side. That's what you do with these top bars. That, and they set the pinion angle. Got that set. All the lock nuts are tight on that. What else? Seems like I've done something else. I don't know. But now what I'm fixing to do is, well, I done bent this bolt even more. My handy dandy assistants over here sanding wheels, and we was bouncing on that bumper trying to see what's limiting our travel over here. I think it's the shock just bottoming out, but in the time that we did that, we bent that bolt even more. I think, well, actually it may not be the bolt, it may be this right here, but still, that's why you double shear stuff like this, so it don't bend your mount or your bolt. That's what I'm fixing to take care of. So let me jack this up, and I got to straighten that out, and then I'm gonna box that in real quick. Do the same thing over here, and after that, well, we need to bleed brakes. We got to he's gonna sand on those 2 wheels there. We got to put tires on them. Then I'm gonna paint them, because I don't want to have to wait for the paint to dry. Let that dry overnight. So let me get busy on this right here. I'm fixing to jack it up with my air jack, get the tension off of this so I can get this bolt loose and straighten up whatever's bent here. And this is how much this side is sagging. I just barely got it touching that mount there. It's got 1.5 inches of air right there. That's how much it's sagging. About 1 inch of it is in this here bent down, and then the other half is this cheap Chinese junk springs. I'm done with Chinese suspension parts. You can buy a lot of Chinese stuff, but I'm done with that. We're gonna buy American good company, hopefully. Anyway, let me get this fixed right here. Here's what I come up with. We'll put this plate here. This one's gonna go on this side. We'll have one on the bottom, and I'm gonna leave this open. That way I can swing that shock out if I ever need to. I think it'll strengthen it up quite a bit. So let me get this tacked up. Gotta get this piece cut, and if it looks all right, we'll weld it up. Do the same thing over here. There's been a design change. I was going to leave this side open so you could swing the shock out, you know, if you wanted to take it off and plate the bottom. Ain't no need. This is stronger, and if I want to get this out, take both bolts out, raise the body up, pull it on out. Anyways, I got to take a tire off to weld this side over here. You got to do the same thing over here, and we'll be done with that. That sure looks nice. Even though this side, you can tell, it's dropped down. That didn't bring us up nowhere near what I thought. Let me show you the mounts first. I got this one done. No, they're not symmetrical. I cut a little more out here. I don't care. I'm tired, and that's what you get when you throw something together. At least we ain't got to worry about bending or breaking a bolt or bending this metal. This is 3/16. You know, the old stock Ford stuff is 3/16. That's what the other mounts are on the 40. Why it didn't bend like that, I don't know. Well, the 40, the one on the 40, it had spacers welded in here. No, up inside here. I don't know if that adds to the strength or not. But anyways, we got that took care of now. Like I said, we're still dropped down. That's the camera level. You can tell this side's dropped down. It's 1 3/8 too low. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run that cheap Chinese junk spring up as far as it'll go. And then that's what it'll be. Like I told y'all, I'm done buying Chinese junk suspension parts. This ain't no count. Anyway, let me do that. Bleed the brakes, and then, I don't know, we'll do something else. Well, I put my new wheels and tires on the front. I don't like them. Nope. I told y'all I'm not a big fan of rally wheels on anything except what they belong on. I was going to paint these black, and then, well, let me just show you the hubcaps. Let me get them out. That's what I was gonna put on it. I guess it's a baby moon. Well, I ordered for a 7-inch inner hole right here. And that's what it says on the Amazon. That's what it says on the sticker right there on the package. No, sir, they're 7.5. They don't fit. So we'll be running these with no hubcap. So that should look wonderful. I tell you what I wish I'd have done is found me a 15x8 wagon wheel chrome to go up here and let that be that. If I can find one tomorrow, that's what's going to happen. I'm not a fan of these. It would look better flat black with that center cap, but that don't fit. Anyway, I have been fooling with the height, and I run that spring all the way up. I think I told y'all about that. Well, run it all the way up, and it was like 23 and, I don't know, 5/8. Well, now it's at 24. I bounced it. I even backed it out, brought it back in. It's come up to 24 inches. That's where I wanted it. That side over there, those at 25. So I guess, and this spring is run all the way up. That's all we can get. So I guess when a fat feller gets in over yonder, it'll drop it down maybe an inch and it'll be level then. Well, then I could have swore last night I told y'all this was an inch and a half off. It's too high over there. Well, now it's only half an inch. Well, when I pulled it back on the rack a minute ago, it was only 5/16 high. Well, I bounced it a couple times. Now it's a ½ inch high. I don't know. I think we may have a Christine, and it metamorphosizes. Is that a word? It does what it wants to. It changes. Anyway, bled the brakes. That's the reason why I backed it out and then pulled it back in. They feel okay. Won't really know till you get up to speed. But the pedal, it goes way down. Maybe I'll just use the power brakes, but yeah, the pedal goes a little too far down. And that could be, we got the, what's that called? The proportion valve on this truck, I think, came off a square body, and that could be part of it. That's for a rear drum, and we got a disc. I bought another proportion valve like we got on the 40. If I have time, we might change it out, but kind of doubt it, though. Well, yeah, we might change it. I don't know. But let me tell you this. I backed it out all the way I could, brought it back in, checking the brakes. And we cut the tailpipes off. There they are right there. And it's just basically dumped. Just like the 40. Let me tell you what, this dude sounds mean. Goodness gracious alive. I just told my dandy assistant, he's the one that's going to be driving this. I just told him about that, and I said, I will most likely be driving dude some now. Yes, sir. He sounds really mean. Anyway, I don't know what else I got to do. Let's look at the board real quick. What have I done? I got the spacers done. It feels like I did more than just spacers. We got 2 of these mounted, so I can't mark that out. I ain't painted them yet. I ain't sure that I even am. Now that I don't have my center caps, I don't even want to fool with them. Bleed the brakes, I guess. Let's mark that out for now. I really would like to do windshield and possibly radiator. I got to do an alignment. I may fool with that here in a little bit. Where is my tool? I don't know if I brought it out here or not. I don't see it. I'll get it in a little bit and show y'all. It's what I'm going to use to line it up. And I got a little stick that you use to set the toe also. I got to find it. I don't know where it's at. Anyways, I'm going to keep on working, and I'll keep on updating y'all. Well, I ain't going to line it up. My turntables, that you sit your wheels on so they can move freely. I think they're in storage. I don't feel like going to get them. It's late. I've been at this about 12 hours. So I think we're going to call it a day. Tomorrow, we're going to do an alignment. I'm going to bleed the brakes again just to make sure. We've got to do something. Either find us a chrome wagon wheel or put those tires on those wheels there. I really don't want to run them, but I ain't going to have mismatched wheels. What else? Windshield. Well, we may have to wait on that. We might do that on the road. Do a little roadkill style. We've got to get the 40 in here and do rear brakes. Well, let's just look at the list on it. We got to do that one and that one. I really need to figure out why that thing don't want to idle. I don't know if it's too rich or too lean.
I'll just have to deal with how the clutch feels. Side panel, that ain't happening. Don't care. I might do a toe in. That's about it. Got side mirrors coming. They should be here tomorrow. Window rubber don't matter. The windows rattle because the window rubber's so old. So I'm gonna take some cardboard and stick it in the window so they don't rattle. Got to change those bolts out because they're a little too short. And the rear vent on the rear end, got to put something on it because grease oil comes out a little bit. That shouldn't take too long, other than maybe the carb issue. But dude, we got to do the tire thing. Got to do an alignment. Really? That's about it on dude that we've got to do. Yep. I think dude's going on power tour. I feel pretty good now. Anyways, I'm going in the house. I'm tired. I might eat me a little something and I'm gonna go to bed. We'll hit it again hard tomorrow. Well, I just bled dude's brakes again, and I was backing out. I'm gonna take him on his first break in for the rear gear. Ain't got no brakes. I have no clue what has happened. Let me jack him up. I'll bleed it again. I don't know what's going on with the brakes. I have no clue. I've never had this much trouble out of a set of brakes. Bled them again. I got a little bit of air. Pedal is back like it was. It'll go about that far from the floor. I'm gonna drive him around. I'm gonna do about 10 miles to break this rear gear in, and then let him sit at least 30 minutes, cool off. I'm gonna run to storage, get my turntables. I ain't gonna video none of this. We'll do that when dude is done. Let me get him and go get them turntables, and we'll give him an alignment job. Well, that was a pretty short trip. Yep. Rolled her out, hit the brakes, and went to the floor. It wouldn't stop. The reason I got it parked like this is I think what might be the issue is the front calipers. They got them mounted not directly behind the wheel, but it's down a little bit. That puts a bleeder at about 11 o'clock or so. That leaves room at the top of that piston bore for air to get trapped. I'm hoping that's what the issue is. So I got the back end, jacked up on this heel, hoping to bring that bleeder on back to 12 o'clock. And I'm gonna fix it to bleed them just like this. Hopefully I get a bunch of air out and that'll solve the problem. If not, then, well, I ain't got a clue what's wrong. Well, I reckon that's what the issue was. Yes, sir. Bled them the first time, and man, you should have heard the air squirt out of them. Pumped the pedal a bunch of times, bled them again, a little more air come out. Pumped the pedal again, a third time, nothing come out, so I think we're good. But y'all look at the pedal. Let's see how much better it is now. Oh yeah, we got some pedal there now. Yes, sir. Pretty firm. Y'all remember when we put the brakes on the front of the Forte, I told you you want that bleeder at the top of the caliper. This is why right here, fellas. That way no air can get trapped in there. I'm gonna go to storage, get my turntables. Let's come back and give old dude an alignment. Well, we got an issue. I stopped right here. I'm gonna let him idle with my electric fan on for, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes, see where the temperature did. And about 5 minutes into it, well, she just quit and it won't start. I'm not getting any pump shot. So either we're out of gas or the fuel pump's quit working, or we got a fuel filter that's stopped up. The gauge, the fuel gauge on this thing is kind of funny, but it does work down to about half. Well, it's showing full, but it's pegged. So hopefully we're out of gas. Let me go get some and put in it. Fingers crossed that that's all wrong with this old truck. Well, apparently it was just out of gas. It took a while to get it started. It had me worried there for a little bit, but it finally started. I've got a fuel sending unit for it. I just ain't had time to put it in. We might have time before tomorrow. This is Saturday, by the way. We leave tomorrow. Probably gonna leave around 10 or 11 o'clock, go to Bowling Green to go get our long hauler passes and all that. I got to get stuff done. Let me try to get an alignment on it, because this thing, it has no return on the steering, so it needs some caster in it bad. Probably ain't gonna show that, fellas, because I'm in a hurry. I got to get this stuff done. Let me get it in there and see if I can't get it lined up. Well, dude ain't got no brakes again. No, sir. I dang near run off the end of the lift. If it wasn't for those stops right there, he'd been over in the welding area. Yep. I don't have a clue what's going on with that. Let me do an alignment, and then I don't know. I guess we'll just keep bleeding the brakes till I run out of fluid. Well, I got part of the alignment done. I got caster and camber set.
Very quickly, I'll explain. Camber is the tire, the top of the tire, in or out. Negatives in, positives out. We have, it may be like a 1/4 of a degree positive because, well, I'm not able to get much caster. It's got 1.5 degrees caster, and that's just not enough. Other side has got 1/2 degree positive camber and about 2.5 degrees positive caster. The reason it has more caster is a vehicle will pull to the side with the least amount of positive caster. And the way the roads are crowned, you know, to shed water, well, most of my vehicles want to pull to the right, so that's why the difference. And we'll just have to drive it and see how it does. It may be wrong, and I may have to change it. But it really needs about at least 4 degrees of positive caster. I can't get it unless, you know, I lay the tire way out, and I'm not going to do that. That could be due to we're still not really parallel. Well, we ain't parallel with the ground on our bottom A-arms. That will change things. That will, well, if you bring that level, just looking at it, it'll probably pull the top of the tire in, which will let me push this front side of this A-arm out to get 0 camber, and that will give me more positive caster. So that's something we're going to have to do. Can't do it today. Hopefully the springs will settle. If they don't, well, we're going to have to cut more coils. But I don't have time for that right now. Whatever he's got right now, that's what he's got. Because I'm running out of time. It's 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon and still got some stuff to do. Fixing to set the toe. Well, let me show you my machine that I use to set the caster and camber. It's right here. I had one of these, and well, I left it in my truck. These are like, you know, glass level bubbles. I left that in the 4-wheel drive, been several years ago. I guess it got too hot, busted every one of these, so it's useless. I bought this one a few days ago off of eBay. They're wonderful. They got the little pointy thing, it moves in and out like that right there. You put that, you pull this cap off. You put that pointy thing in the center of the spindle, and it's magnetic. It hooks onto your hub here. It's very easy to read and use. Anyway, let me set toe. I'm probably gonna set it, I don't know, we'll start with 1/8 inch toe in, see how that does. And then we gotta work on the brakes, fellers, because without brakes, dude ain't going nowhere. Also, know, by the way, if you've got something magnetic and you want to keep it magnetic, stick it to something steel. It's that science, maybe a little magic too, but they can lose magnetism if you don't keep them stuck to something. My old one, it had a little thin steel plate that you stuck there, and that's the purpose of it. It's magic, science, I don't know. Another also know, by the way, these are the tires that we've been using on the old Forte, and had them on here for a few days. Well, look at here. It's flat. It was sitting right here, and whilst I was gone driving, dude, it blew out. Sure did. Anyway, let me set the toe on this truck real quick. All right, here's the apparatus I use to set toe. I'll show you outside of the vehicle. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's just, it sticks to the tire there. Got that chain. You want that chain barely touching the ground. Same thing over here. You want it barely touching the ground. You can adjust it for different track widths, and it's got a spring here, and here's the gauge. I just rolled her forward after I set everything up, and we got, it's not quite a half, or not quite a 1/4 inch toe in. I want an 1/8, so I'm gonna run them out just a wee bit, and then I'll check it 2 or 3 times, make sure it's gonna stay, and then we'll have the toe set. Toe is set at approximately exactly 1/8 of an inch. Here's a little apparatus here that I used. It's just a bar. That's all it is. Got a little spring here. This is the side that moves in and out. And of course, there's your scale. Very old school. Very handy to use. Let me get him turned around and aimed like it was earlier. See if I can get some more air out of the front of these brakes. Well, I decided I needed a little break, so I went in the house and got me something to drink and little crackers. As I was walking from the house to the shop, guess what I saw fly in the shop? Yep, there the little dummy is. Where'd he go? I don't know. There he is. I don't understand them. I got my red rag there, got the lights out. Maybe he'll figure it out here in a minute. Well, I hooked my power bleeder up and he got in the truck, gonna turn it around, hit the pedal. The pedal's back. I don't understand it. You've either got brakes or you don't. Air can't hide in the brake system. If air is there, you'll know it because your brakes will be spongy. You won't have brakes. I can't figure it out. I'm gonna bleed it again. Let's see what happens. Well, I bled the front brakes, no air. Unhooked the power bleeder. Brake pedal goes to the floor. So when you hook the power bleeder up, we got pedal. That tells me there's too much movement in the calipers somewhere. That's what the residual pressure check valve would do, is keep the calipers from opening, spreading back open too much. I don't know if that's the issue. Very well could be though. Let me do some thinking on how to pinpoint that, and I'll be back. All right, here's the deal. Been experimenting a little bit, trying to determine if it's back or front, left, right, whatever. Got my little vice grip clamps clamped off the rear hose. Got in here, stepped on the pedal, same thing, went to the floor. Took it off the back, put it on the passenger side front hose. Got in here, stepped on the pedal. I had a little bit of pedal. Left that one on, got another one, put it on the driver's side front hose. Stepped on the pedal. Well, let me just show you real quick what kind of pedal we got. It might be kind of hard to see because it's dark in here, but yeah, we got pedal. Sure do. There's something going on with the front brakes. The only thing I can think of is the air, like we talked about. They got the caliper clocked wrong. The only thing I know to do, pull this wheel off, pull the caliper off. I have to stick something in between the caliper, like it's the rotor, so we don't pop the piston out, and bleed them that way. That way I can cock that caliper up and make dang sure I got the bleeder at the top and bleed them that way. Let me get that done. I'll be back and let you know how it went. There's dude, done with him. I've done all I can with the brakes. It's got pedal, but you can mash it all the way to the floor. They're mushy. It'll stop it, but it ain't great. I may end up driving him because if the brakes go out, he's got to hit somebody or run off the road. No, it's gonna be me, not him. I guess my nephew will be driving this if I get these brakes to bleed. Bled them for 10 minutes, not a single drop come out. Level ain't dropped in the master cylinder. Ain't got a clue. So I'm gonna put my power bleeder on it. He's gone to town to get us some stuff. Put my power bleeder on this. Hopefully it'll bleed. Ain't got a clue. Well, y'all ain't gonna believe me unless I show you. About 11 o'clock at night, got a bat in here now. That's good. That's real good. Yep. Alrighty then. Well, it's about 12:30 Sunday morning. We ain't got no front wheels on it. We still ain't got no brakes, but we just figured out what the problem is. Oh, this valve cover, I noticed it earlier today. It's oily. I thought it was blow-by coming out of this breather cap. No, sir. A minute ago, I was bleeding the master cylinder, and I saw a squirt go flying that way. We got a hole in a brake line right down yonder. So we're fixing to replace both of these lines from here all the way to the proportionate valve. That should fix the problem. Dude should have brakes. Now the 40, I bled the master cylinder on it, and it helped them some. It still ain't got a whole lot of back brakes. We'll fool with that tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, we were going to go to Bowling Green and get our passes and all that early. We ain't gonna make Bowling Green tomorrow. It'll be Monday because we got too much to do. We got to do them brake lines. I'm painting my wheels right now. We got to wash it and put my shine on it, and it's just too much stuff to do. Tomorrow we may go ahead and I forgot to put a thermostat in it, so we may put a thermostat in it. And if I do that, I might as well go ahead and put my new radiator in it too. So we got a lot of work to do tomorrow. We will not make it to Bowling Green until Monday. Well, it's about 2 o'clock Sunday morning. I don't remember where I left y'all off at. We've done a whole bunch of stuff. Well, I'm looking at this headlight. I'll tell you about that. The headlight fell off sometime, I don't know, last year. I don't know where it's at. It's on the side of the road. Well, the bad thing is this little retainer ring right here, not this one, but this one, it was with it. That's what holds the headlight in and adjusts it. The purple maroon, whatever color it is, truck over at Mama's in the barn. The headlight trim and all, it's there in the truck somewhere. I'm hoping it's in the cab and not in the back. It'll be easier to find. Anyway, gonna go look for that tomorrow. If I can't find it, well, you might see dude with a taped on headlight. Anyway, the 40, I think that's what I left y'all off with. What I did to it is, well, there's the bolts on the bottom bar on the rear. They were a little too short. Changed them out. Of course, I ran all my brake lines, bled it, and I wasn't getting no pedal at all for the back brakes. Well, then I come back and bled the master cylinder a couple of times. Pedal got a little better. So we may fool with that a little bit tomorrow. And what else did we do to the 40? I guess that's about it. We'll look at the board here in a minute, and that'll remind me what all we did. What we done to this one, we painted the wheels. Well, he was over here breaking them down off the old chrome wagon wheels, putting them on the new rallies. Painted them. I ain't showing you yet, but I think they're going to be pretty sharp. And then we've been fooling with these brake lines for the last hour, so you can't hardly get to them. They're way down in yonder. But I am very, very glad to find that line with a hole in it. I was beginning to question my abilities to troubleshoot, to understand brakes, and all kind of stuff. Could not figure it out because it acted like it had air, but then it would have decent pedal, then it would go away, and it'd have decent. And this air does not hide in the brake system. No, sir. It's there until you release it, and that threw me for a loop. I guess I'd lose pedal when it would shoot fluid out that hole, and then it might let air suck back in, and well, that about drove me nuts. Anyways, it's late. I'm going in the house. Well, let's go over here to the board first before I go in the house. I'm in a much better mood, by the way, now that we have figured out what's going on with dude's brakes. But let's mark off the Forte. We got the brake lines. We bled them. I really would like to work on this because it does not want to idle. Well, oh, I did the toe. I can't set the toe with my little bar that I showed y'all because there's too much suspension stuff in the way. So it got a tape measure toe. It was at about a half an inch, 9/16. I got it around the 1/8 now, so it should drive a little better, hopefully. I got my side mirrors. They won't fit on the 40, so I don't want them to do there. Changed out those rear bolts and the rear vent on the rear end. I got that took care of. Dude, can we mark off anything? Yes. Got the tires painted, got them mounted. I aligned it. That's about it. Tomorrow, I'm hoping to do radiator when we do the thermostat. Sight glass on the blower. Probably go ahead and do that. What else? We're gonna have to do that. Got to wash it and shine it. I would like to do wheel tubs. We'll just see how we feel, what kind of time we got. Anyways, it's late. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm wore out. My knees killing me. It just started raining too. Going in the house. See y'all tomorrow. Well, it's Sunday, and we're back at it. Working on the old 53. I just opened the doors. I've got a stupid little bird. See him right there? There he goes. We'll see you later, buddy. Don't come back. I don't understand the wildlife around here. Anyways, we're going to finish these. We got the brake lines halfway run. Just had to quit. My legs and knees were killing me. Finish them. Pull the radiator out. Change the thermostat. What else? I don't know. We'll probably find more stuff to do. Well, that's the plan, the short-term plan for right now. Well, we got the brake lines all done up. We bled the brakes, and bled the brakes, and it ain't no better than it was yesterday. But maybe at least now it won't go away like they were going to the floor because we took care of that hole. I don't understand why they're no better than they are, but I've done all I can do to them. We're draining the water now. I'm gonna replace the radiator and put a thermostat in it, and I think it may be about all other than washing it and making it shine. I'll have to look at the board, so I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Anyways, we're gonna get this done pretty quick, I hope. The little wire tie things that hold your electric fan on to the radiator, well, I forgot to get any, and you can't reuse them. I tried. I broke every one of them. So he's gone. My handy assistant's gone to Ireland to get some of them. Whilst I wait on him, I'm gonna put a thermostat in it. You have to pull the blower to get the thermostat housing off. That's why I never put one in it, because I forgot. I said, phooey on it. I'm not pulling that blower off again. Well, now that we got all this and the water drain and all that, well, let's go ahead and put a thermostat in it. And
I got a smaller pulley. I'm gonna put it on too. I had a wrench for this. I don't know where it went. Let me find that and I'll get this belt off. It's in my back pocket. I found it. I found it. All right, now I get this blower. I'm just going to twist it. I hope I don't tear my gasket. I really don't want to do that because I don't have one. I can make one, but I don't want to have to. Oh, I got to get that bolt loose. I'm going to leave it in. All I need to do is scoot it just a little bit. Oh, I think we're good. No, wait a minute, it's stuck in the back. Yeah, it come loose. Oh, yeah. Let me twist it a little bit more. That right there, I think we're good. Let me get this thermostat housing off. I got a 160-degree thermostat. Hopefully this will help keep dude cool. Alright, let me get the blower back on. Then we'll change that pulley. I put Teflon tape on these blower bolts because the holes go all the way through. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but I don't want any vacuum leaks. So I put Teflon tape on all of them. Blower bolts get tightened to about 10-ish feetage poundages in a cross pattern. Click up, click up. Alright, got that off. This is a 3-inch, that's a 2 5/8. See the difference? That'll give us a little more boost. I don't know how much, but it'll give us a little bit. Alright, let me put the belt back on. We'll be done with all of this. Ta-da! Well, we got the radiator in, and it's supposed to be a direct replacement. That's a lie. On the original, this is 1 1/4 inch, the bottom's 1 1/2 inch. Well, on this one, this is 1 1/2 inch, the bottom's 1 3/4 inch. All I had to do was just replace this one section here, but then the bottom hose, well, nothing but the best for dude. This upper hose feels kind of squishy. It's probably really old. You can tell it's used. Hopefully it'll hold up during power tour. If not, well, I guess we'll be sitting on the side of the road. Well, we just filled it up with water. I don't see any leaks yet. Hopefully that contraption of the hose down there on the bottom hole got our fan on. I'm gonna give y'all just a little sample of what old dude sounds like now. I'm telling you, he sounds good. Oh, he sounds good. Anyways, I'm letting it warm up, get it all full of water, get the air out of it, and then I guess we're gonna go test drive it, and then we'll come back and we'll give her a bath, and I'll go to shining on it. Thermostat finally opened. Let me show y'all where dude is running now as far as Tipitar. Oh yeah, he's just barely off the little peg over here. He used to run about 190 going down the road. Sitting here idling now, he's way on down there. I don't think dude's gonna have any cooling issues now. I believe we took care of that. Something else I noticed though, I was down here cutting some wires out. That heater box, I'm gonna tell you what. Uh-oh. My CO monitor is going off. We probably need to shut dude off. Anyway, this is putting off a lot of heat. So I think we may loop them heater hoses. You really don't need no heat in the middle of June anyway. Let me go cut him off because we don't want to die from carbon monoxide poisoning. And I think we're fixing to take him for a little test drive. We're taking dude for a cruise. And let me tell you, it's really loud in here now.
probably gonna have to put tailpipe back on it. It's just too loud. It's leaning that way. We're gonna have to go through the suspension again before it's over with. But not right now. I'll have to wait till after power tour. But I'm gonna try driving about 15 miles right now. Try to break the rear gears in again, and then we gotta get back and washing and waxing, buffing. He got sideways, that's it. Anyway, we're gonna cruise for a little bit. Well, we're back from our joyride. Dude did wonderfully. I don't like how he feels on the road. I mean, it's a comfortable ride, but we may need to go back to those 350-pound springs. Live and you learn. That's all I can tell you. We'll worry about that later. He's good enough for power tour. Doing an oil change now. Found the retainer ring for the headlight over at Mama's. There it is right there. We'll put that in. I'm fixing to start on wheel tubs. They're just going to be tacked in. I ain't fully welding them up. I don't have time for that. And I don't know, there's some more odd things we got to do. We're narrowing it down. I think we're gonna make it. So let me get busy on these wheel tubs, and when I get done, I'll be back. Well, let me show you real quick what I'm doing on wheel tubs. That's the piece that we cut out. Well, I'm just gonna cut it along that line I got there. Then this metal here, I'm just gonna form it around this outside edge, tack it to that, tack it to the side of the bed and the bottom of the bed, and that'll be that. Well, it's past midnight. I guess you'd call it Monday morning now. We have been busy little beavers today. Yes, we're trying to get old dude ready to go. As you can see, I got my wheel tubs done. I said they were going to be temporary, but they don't look too bad. Knowing me, they'll probably be permanently temporary. We got a few gaps here and there. Ain't nothing major. It's just an old beat up truck. Main reason I got these on here right now is we're going to put tools back here, keep them from sliding out that hole. It wouldn't be good, no sir. I need to weld them up a little bit more if I'm going to leave them on here. What else have we done today? We washed him a little while ago, got all the green mildew and mold off. We changed the radiator, put the electric fan on it. Had to change radiator hoses because they were different size. Oh, dude has 2 eyeballs now. Look at there. Oh yeah, got that all fixed. I was going to change sight glass on the blower. Well, it's sitting over yonder, the new one. It ain't the right size, no sir. That one there is good enough that I can see the oil level. It'll be just fine and dandly, so that's okay there. We lowered this side, got me adjuster. I run it all the way up. Well, I run it all the way back down basically. And now these sides are within a 1/4 inch. And lowering this corner brought that passenger side rear corner up. Remember, that was an inch difference on the back. Well, they're within a 1/4 inch now.
So that's awesome. Dude sitting pretty level. May change by in the morning, but right now he's pretty level. I know I ain't videoed a whole lot the last 2 or 3 days, but fellas, we've been just running wide open trying to get him ready to go. We probably won't leave here till, I don't know, 11 or 12. It's an hour and 15-minute drive for us. It ain't that far. And the gates don't open till 12, I think, so there's going to be a line 5 miles long. So there's no need in getting there at 12. We'll probably, when we get there, we got to go get our passes. Then we might get inside there around 2-ish. Anyways, let's walk over here to the board real quick and let's see what we need to mark off. If there's anything that I have forgotten to do, it's very possible. I added a couple of things. One of them, that shifter is just, it's terrible. I don't know, it just don't want to shift. So we're going to try to loosen it up. The steering wheel, forgot about it, and we're going to try to tighten it up. Got the radiator done. Got the sight glass done, basically. Got my wheel tubs done. Got the pulley on the blower. These two, ain't gonna worry about them. I reckon that's it, other than these right here. 40, I ain't done no more on it. I really wanted to do this one right here, carb issues. Don't look like we're going to. Well, I might be able to tomorrow evening because, you know, we're coming back home. Like I said, it ain't but an hour and 15-minute drive. So tomorrow evening, might fool with that. And I don't know, we might put a windshield in Dude. Anyways, I'm tired. I'm going in the house. When you see Dude tomorrow, he will be in his final form. There old Dude is. I don't think he looks too bad, if I must say so myself. No, sir, he looks pretty doggone sharp. I did 3 months of work in about 3 weeks. Let me tell you, I'm wore out. But it was worth it. He looked pretty sharp. Yep. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a fan of those wheels when I first got them. Now that they're painted black and they got the chrome center caps on them, I like them pretty good. They'll do for now. Of course, I love the raised white leather tires. Yes, sir, they look pretty sharp. We have literally worked on him till right up till time to go to Power Tour. We're fixing to leave, and he just backed him out of the shop. So we got to go, but y'all be looking for a video next week of us at Power Tour. Oh, Dude, he needs a lot more work, but he'll do for now. Yes, sir. We got to go. Ain't got time to dilly-dally. We got to go to Power Tour. So appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. And until next time, go do something. Blur, blur.